Jill, you know what it do. MC Eiht, Big Steele, Gangster Chronicles, official. And we just jumped off the porch with Dirty Glove Bastard, Jill.
One more brother on the run. I just can't handle this. Born in the land.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We right back at it, y'all. We got the living legend, MC Eiht, the other living legend, Steele, jumping off the porch with us today. What's up with it, fellas?
Jill, what it do, fam?
What's happening, dog?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Definitely a pleasure to have you brothers, you know what I'm saying, sitting on the porch. Eiht, I just, it's two rappers that I give credit to, like certain lingo that I, have taken and have moved on with my entire life. You and DJ Paul, you know what I'm saying? My yes sir, that's DJ Paul, one of the check writers, you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And then I always been saying Chia,
definitely. Never know where it originated.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
No,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. So it's a pleasure having you on the porch, man. What's the good word, though? What you fellas got cracking in Atlanta?
Basically, we down here, we got this podcast, the Gangster Chronicles, Steele could probably tell you a little more about, why we down here, whatever.
Yeah, for sure. We down here, man, for the second annual Black Effect Podcast Festival. We got a deal. Shouts out to Charlemagne, Dolly, and the whole iHeart team, Black Effect. We out here doing our thing, man. This the second year they don't have the podcast convention. They brought us down, so we just around putting paint where it ain't, touching everybody.
Yeah. Nah, that's what it do. And it's dope how the podcasting world has grown so much that is, giving light to a different type of journalist or a different style of journalism, where whether it's in sports, you got the athletes, the cats that was actually putting in the work, being able to speak on it. And then here within the music world, you got whether it's the artists or some of us people from behind the scenes to be able to really share our perspective on what's been happening and from kind of a first person's point of view, you know what I mean?
Definitely. I'm new to this shit. Everybody know, I started my career with, underground music, trying to be that. But this is a new form of communicating with a lot of our people, you know what I'm saying? I know the podcast game has been around for a while, but when you can have some sort of realism to it, when it can turn from just like the general, like you said, general journalism to where now you can express a little bit more, you can have in-depth conversations with people about certain situations or current topics or past days or whatever. So me, generally just making records, man, I usually keep to myself, but this is a form of just reaching out to the fans and people that really want to just hear conversations and real happenings, so it's a new switch, but it is what it is.
Nah, for sure. And how'd you even get into the podcast world?
Oh man, basically Steele, I know shit about podcasting. I'm an old school nigga, so I was still on just, making records and doing, a little touring and shit, but Steele will give you a little more in depth on how we hooked up and whatever.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy, man. I went through a couple of different incarnations with this show. As a dude that's in the business yourself, sometimes some stuff just don't work out with certain people, right?
Yeah.
So I had always had Eiht in the back of my mind, because when I originally thought of the Gangster Chronicles, it was gonna be, I was real good friends with Big Syke from Thug Life, but he passed away. So that could never manifest itself. So I was always thinking about having a rapper on, certain, but it had to be a certain rapper, right?
Yeah.
Because we was going street shit, So what happened was Eiht came in and did the show one time, and I was like, man, dude looked really good on camera, and I like the way he interact with everything. Now, Eiht got that kind of like ominous presence. He got the voice where he cheered, You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
He got a certain swag to his shit. So I asked him, I said, this was like pre-COVID. I said, bro, I want to bring you on the Gangster Chronicles as one of the dudes, because he had a podcast, he had an idea for him. We still go do that when it's time for it, right? But once he came on, man, it was crazy, because we had started talking to Charlemagne, and Charlemagne was like, man, I want to fuck with the show, but I think y'all need a rapper on there. And when he said MC Eiht, I was like, bingo, I had it right. So we just been rolling ever since then.
Yeah. And still, tell us a little more about your background, like how you.
Man, you know what, man?
your
I
mark.
started off in the business, man, as a writer. I don't wrote for a gang of people. You know, I don't sign a bunch of NDAs, so I ain't at liberty to say who I don't wrote for, but I got some records out there. And I was A&R for a publishing company. And we had, one of our biggest records, man, was the Ice Cream Paint Job joint.
Okay, yeah.
That producer that did that record, the producer that was mine, I A&R that record. And man, just pretty much as a manager, man, you know, from Glasses, Malone, different people, Eiht stuff, man. So that's pretty much my background, man. I'm a hustler, a grinder. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, where you from?
Putting paint where it ain't. I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio, but I've been in California since 1988.
Okay.
I've been out there for a long. I actually been in Cali longer than I was in Cleveland.
Okay, word.
But I'm originally a Midwest cat.
Okay, yeah, brought that Midwest game to the West Coast.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, you know, about that hustle. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, for sure. I'm from Milwaukee, so I know all about that Midwest. You know
Yeah,
what I
for
mean?
sure. You know, we got to move. We don't get the same opportunities that they may get out west or up top in New York. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, nah, for sure.
So we got to kind of grind for it.
For sure. I mean, my first start, like, you know, getting my feet wet in the game was, you know, taking a chance, moving out to LA, staying on the homie couch, you know, and out there in what's that area? I'm gonna say Silver Lake, but I don't want to say Silver Lake. It's the real.
You was in Burbank somewhere in the valley?
No, not Burbank. It was like literally like right there in that Silver Lake kind of area. Like, what was it, Alvarado, Sunset?
I
like,
know where you at, man. Yeah, you talk about Glendale, like that little area right there.
Yeah, that little pocket. Yep.
Yeah.
I came out there too. I was a football player out of Ohio, and I didn't have the grades, so I wound up coming out to go to Long Beach City College. I caught a plane to Vegas. Back in the day, they used to have these $300 tickets that you can buy out the back of the newspaper, $300 anywhere in the country.
Yeah.
So I hit dude up, and he was like, man, the only thing I got now is going to Vegas. So I said, you know, I'm a young dude. This is pre-internet everything.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Vegas. That got to be close to California. I'm looking at the map, right? So I get out there, man. I had $50 in my pocket. I get to the, we land in Vegas. I walk the 8 miles to the Greyhound bus station.
Yeah.
And we mess around. I go call my mama to let her know I on arrive safely and stuff. Somebody stole my luggage. So I came out here literally, man, with 2 pair of pants, a pair of underwear, and $50 in my pocket.
Yeah.
And knew once the bus landed in Long Beach, you know, we drove to Long Beach that night. I asked somebody, where's Long Beach City College at? It was really like that, man.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't had no cell phones or nothing.
Right.
So I footed it another 6 miles to go to Long Beach City College, and I sat in the stoop of the athletic department to the next day. And I thought about it, man, I'm a dude that's from Ohio, man, ain't never had shit. All I saw was the opportunity. I looked up, and it was crazy, man. It was like really this metaphor, and God giving me a signal that everything was gonna be all right.
Yeah.
Because the sun started coming up, so I got to watch the sun rise on the West Coast, sitting on the stoop, and anybody else would have probably been panicking, but I was like, man, I'm here, and I'm about to make the most of this shit.
Yeah, nah, that's real. Man, it's like when you're back against the wall and you like all you see is opportunity, and it's like ain't nothing gonna hold me back from getting this.
That's all I saw, man, just because I left Ohio, man, right when the crack trade was really starting to boom. And I really think if I'd have stayed at the crib, man, I'd be dead right now in jail.
Yeah. Would you say that you jumped off the porch in Ohio, or was it more of a Cali thing?
You know what, definitely, I started doing a little bit of stuff in Ohio, but I was trying to get the fuck up out of there. California, I really jumped off the porch. I started doing a whole bunch of shit I wasn't supposed to do. Cali, especially, you gotta think about when you say 88 was the year.
Shit, 88, basically the mid 80s, 85 to 88, you know, is gang banging was at an all-time high, getting money, you know, so a lot of people probably hopped off the porch at that time, you know.
That term Cali is active.
Oh yeah, we was definitely active. I mean, we've been active, you know, with the situations we had, but for the most part, them were some real treacherous years, man. The time around when I was a teenager, and a lot of dudes, you know, around my age who are now, you might know, in the hip hop game, you know, whatever, but the Snoop Dogs, the Eights, the WCs, you know, the Cypress Hills, whatever. We were all affiliated, man, and around that time, I'm pretty much, everybody will verify that the mid 80s was really treacherous times.
Word. And hey, you coming from Compton, Trag New Park, Like, what can you tell us about that area and what it was like for you coming up?
Like I said, I grew up in Compton. I lived in a neighborhood called Spooktown.
Okay. Was it really like that?
Oh yeah, they shot out all the street lights, keep it dark. You know, every gang in Compton was active. You feel me? Me at their age around 12, 13, got initiated. Did it for just really just, you know, for the unity, the family aspect. You know, when you think of gang banging, everybody think of, you know, murders and jail and drugs and just war. You know, it's a part of it, but there were good times. Like I try to tell people, you know, we had backyard parties and barbecues and days where, you know, motherfuckers wasn't on the hunt and shit like that. So it was just family orientated, you know, unified, you know, having somebody to watch your back, you know, you were never alone. You always with 3, 4, 5 homies. But at that time, you know, growing up in the hood, you know, you were affiliated, right. You know, whether you wanted to be or not. You stayed somewhere, it's probably 9 times out of 10, you was gonna be official. So
yeah,
it was, you know, trying to sell dope, trying to avoid the police, especially enemies coming through, wanting to shoot and so basically, the rap was my way of trying to talk to people outside of the hood to let people know what Tragnu was about, what Compton, growing up in the hood and stuff like that. So that's what it was like for me in the area. You know what I'm saying? You had to watch your back.
Yeah.
It was dangerous. But then it was also, like I said, it was orientated to where you felt like you were family, you had protection and people that watch your back and shit like that. A lot of people want to just symbolize it as red and blue, you know, rags and shit. But it's more than that. You know what I'm saying?
Almost like a fraternity.
It's the community and where you grow up and where you're trying to represent, and that's all we got. You know what I'm saying? So this is what we have to do. Just like when motherfuckers go to war, niggas come to their countries and they feel they gotta defend their homeland or whatever. That's basically what it's about. Niggas is trying to come through, take out your soldiers. Motherfuckers want to infiltrate your money and shit like that. So that's what it was for me. It was never about just claiming something for a color. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you speaking on how it was, I mean, it was a way of life. Like you almost had to be affiliated to something to a certain.
I mean, really to survive. I mean, there were, you know, opportunities for us youths to maybe go a different route, but to me, when you growing up in poverty and shit, and you know, parents struggling, you living single moms or single pops and struggling every day, and you don't see a way out. You know, you're not too interested in school or getting educated because it's like the same song and dance. George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, y'all were slaves, the Santa Pinta and the Maria and all that bullshit. So you kind of were lost, man. And it seemed like gangbanging was the only way to learn about life and shit. You know what I'm saying? I learned about dope. I learned about guns. I learned about, you know, enemies and trying to form pacts with other neighborhoods and, you know, just unity. I learned, you know what I'm saying? Being in the military, man. Why
does it seem like nowadays it's more of a trendy thing? It's more, you know what I mean? Cats is gangbanging.
It's popularized now.
Yeah.
You get me?
Cats is grown gangbanging. You know
it's popularized now. You get me? I never started rapping whatever to glorify, because I tried to tell you in raps that being in the hood, you run into some pitfalls, man. It's not all song, I mean, you know, flowers and motherfucking sunshine. You run into a lot of pitfalls being in the neighborhood. So I tried to show you that.
Yeah.
I tried to tell you that the hood could take you under. I told you that niggas were struggling in the neighborhood because, some of us were undereducated and we didn't, feel me? Can't get to college and good jobs and shit. You result to go to the streets. Nowadays it's popularized. You feel me? The white people have accepted that they're gangbangers.
Right.
If you look at Snoop, he's like the corporate gangbanger to them.
Right.
Snoop does deals with Skechers and all these other people. They accept that now.
Right.
So record companies, them niggas from a hood. Let's sign them up real quick. Who they beefing with?
Right.
Yeah, we love it. Right. You see it on the videos, you hear it in the songs now. Back in our days, coming up, they were terrified of that shit.
Yeah, for sure.
You went out and watched the movie Colors and shit, they were like terrified of gangbanging. Like, wow, they doing that and they selling drugs and they jacking people and killing. So there wasn't no money to be made from gangbanging.
Right.
You get me?
And I think because of that, because people see it kind of like in them bright lights, they're not aware of the ominous nature of gangbanging. Gangbanging is some crucial shit, like.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? I never got caught up in it because I was really in the streets. And I saw it. Me and him was just talking about that as a matter of fact. I saw homies coming through, man, and they really just with them fullies and shit, man. That shit is like, when it's happening, dog, it happens so quick. Just like we here talking, just imagine somebody coming in here and just, it happened just that quick and they going up the road.
Anything you can make a profit off of, you get me? They didn't want us to know about, Vietnam and how many Americans was getting killed.
Right.
Look how many movies they made off the shit. Right. The mob, they supposed to stay low key and not talk and, whatever. Look how many movies they made about the mob and the killers and whatever.
Yeah.
It started with the gangbanging. They made Colors. Next thing you know, South Central. Next thing you know is Juice. Right. Next thing you know is Boys in the Hood. It's Menace II Society. It's New Jack City. It's we gonna find a way to flip this. And then came the music. You get me?
For sure.
Once they was comfortable with the music, go ahead, wear your rags and claim your neighborhoods, and we're gonna exploit this and make some money. So that's why it's so popularized right now.
For sure. Speaking on those movies and everything too, that was an era of, just so many classic, gangster movies that was coming out. But why do you think the West Coast was so polarizing and was being displayed so much? I feel like even all the movies you just named, it's like, damn, like what's the East Coast, a movie that kind of shows that type
East
of
Coast
culture?
had movies, like I said, they had Juice. Back in the days, they had the Warriors.
Yeah.
New Jack City.
Yeah, New Jack City.
Yeah, that's
true.
Which was more
That's true.
about the dope gang than the street gang. Mm-hmm. If you looked at West Coast, like I said, we had Colors. Then we had South Central. Mm-hmm. Then we had Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
Then we had Menace II Society. And then, Mac 10 came with Thicker Than Water.
Right.
Our movies focused more because it was the gang situations that were more prevalent, you know what I'm saying, on our side.
Yeah.
Everybody had their cliques and crews, you know what I'm saying? Like they made the movie about New Jersey Drive, about the homies jacking cars and shit like that.
Nah, that's real.
But it wasn't based on Crip and Blood shit or neighbor or, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's why California movies were so like, damn, man, they so like the hoods and the gangs because that was a lot of influence for California. Like I said, everybody, if nobody, you was part of a gang. And we pushed those movies because it was to try to get people to understand that we're just not a lot of people, like I said, when they focused on gang banging, they thought it was silly and stupid, these niggas banging over colors and bandanas. Those movies were to show you that it was more than that. Yeah, niggas wore their colors to represent their sections, but it was more than that. You know what I'm saying? If you saw in those movies, it was about the choices you made as being in the neighborhood and the situations. Boys in the Hood, Cuba. You had a choice. You gonna stay in the car with us while we finna go dump, or you finna make that decision like, I can't do this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sort of like my nigga Steele when he faced with like, nigga, you from Cleveland, you hanging in the hood, so we gonna put you on.
Right.
And it's like you have to make that decision like, yeah or nah, I can't do this. You know what I'm saying? Just like in Menace, it was about tiring. What choice are you gonna make?
Right.
You growing up in the projects, you around this shit, but you being raised by good grandparents.
Right.
You gotta make a choice. Like Jada was trying to tell him.
Right.
What choice are you gonna make? You get me? Some of us already made that choice. Like this it.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah.
But you got a choice. Juice, Tupac, you finna turn into this nigga hand you a pistol. Now your elevation is up now. So it's all about the choices we make as young men. And that's what we try to show in the movies. You know what I'm saying? You get caught up sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to make that decision if, you know, I'm gonna be this solo man or I'm finna click up and maybe make the wrong choice, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And those movies showed that. So I think that's why it was so heavy.
Nah, for sure. Man, your role in Menace was so dope. I mean, I feel like you had the most quotables in that movie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Come on, niggas. Or hey, homie, you need some help? Or
I'm trying to, like I said, I grew up in the hood, you know. I was a hood official before I even picked up a microphone.
Yeah.
That was what I did, you know, 12, 13, 14. Before, like I said, I didn't start rapping until I was 17, 18.
Word.
So those 12, 13, 14 years as an adolescent, it was all about the neighborhood. Yeah. And those experiences I was able to bring to the screen as far as Menace is concerned, because I need the shit to be authentic,
right.
because I'm supposed to be portraying this authentic dude. So just having that experience of growing up in the hood and being in situations, a lot of the shit I was able to ad-lib, you know, just come up with shit on my own.
I got some snaps on the petrol.
All that shit, you know, that shit I would say on a regular in the neighborhood, not for a movie.
So how much of that was in the script versus you?
A lot of my words were not scripted.
Okay.
It was just natural feeling, and I think that is the reason why I was put in the movie. After doing so many reads, you know, coming back, I guess it was just the feeling of, damn, this motherfucker is authentic. Like, it's like, it ain't like we hired Tyron or Lorenz to play, like, this ain't no character.
Right.
He has real motherfucking, he's giving off real shit. And so that's what I try to do. Even if I saw something in the script, something in the wardrobe, like, nigga, we don't dress like that, or we don't talk like that.
Yeah.
I had the ability, you know, I had the motherfucking go ahead to, oh, y'all wouldn't wear that? No. Okay, well, wear what you would wear.
Yeah.
And then to the point to where they just started telling me, man, just wear what you wear from home. So that's what I started doing.
Just bring the wardrobe from the crib.
Just whatever you wear every day on your regular, you can wear that. So that's what I did. Yeah. And if I would tell her, man, we don't say that, I would say it something like this. Yeah. And so, okay, say it how you would say it. Yeah. So a lot of that shit was ad-lib or just on the spot.
Man, that scene when AWACS and Kane and O-Dog went to go get revenge for Kane's cousin Harold. I mean, that whole scene was just, it was so many emotions, you know what I'm saying,
Definitely.
up and down throughout that whole thing. He was like, man, give me my mmotherfucking joint.
It's crazy because we riding in the car that's getting pulled on the trailer, and it's 100 cameras, and you would never tell.
Right.
Because the one thing you got to do is not look in the camera.
Right.
And me not being an actor at the time, I'm like, how you supposed to? But I'm like, well, fuck it. We on the streets cruising like we looking for niggas. I'm gonna do like shit. I'm looking around.
Right,
like that's normal reaction and shit. So,
and y'all was really on Crenshaw, right?
Yes, yeah.
So
we filmed the movie in official spots.
Right.
Like we was in the projects in Grape Street.
Yeah.
We was on Crenshaw, you know, so they tried to make it as authentic as they could.
Cause I remember when I first moved out to LA, that like when we was on Crenshaw, I used to get my hair cut right on 43rd and Crenshaw and right by the liquor bank. And so I remember folks was like, yo, this scene was right here.
Oh yeah, we was right at the gas station across the street at the gas station. When they shot Harold and Kane, that was right down in Leimert Park, right there, you know, so we try to utilize, especially when you're making a film like that, that's really about the streets and what's going on. You want to make it as authentic as you can. So you want to show landmarks that are familiar to, you know, everybody. people on, you know, throughout the country probably like, it's just another gas station or liquor store or whatever.
Yeah.
But you show those landmarks for people who are living in those areas, so they are familiarized and they're like, yeah, nigga, that's right down the street, you know. So they gave it a lot of authenticity.
Word. And it was rumored that Pac was supposed to be in.
Oh, he
Menace.
was supposed to be. He used to be at the table reads until he was let go because he didn't want to play the character. That you know, he was supposed to play Sharif. You know, everybody know from his characters, Tupac was, you know, on the wire when he played those characters. So I don't think he was too comfortable with playing a character that didn't explain why he was that character.
Got you.
You know, show me shooting somebody, show me dealing some dope, or you know, going to prison and then changing my life into the righteous. But they didn't want to show that, and that bothered him.
Yeah, don't just pan the camera on me just being a square.
Eight's a killer, and the old dog, and then you got Kane, and then everybody else is vicious, and I'm the nigga that's supposed to be sitting in the back with the hood over my head, telling everybody, why you gang bang?
Right.
Why do you sell drugs? Like, nah, man. And I'm still affiliated with these dudes? That's kind of weird to me.
Well, he's not the main character, though.
Yeah, but he's still, like, I am a main character.
He gonna be a main character, and his name is
his thing is, everybody knows me and my reputation. So it's not really about the role, it's what people see me as. So if you want to show that I've turned into this Muslim activist, you know, fighting for brothers to make it right, then show me why. Because why are you just throwing me in a group of killers, and how did I make it here? Because generally, you ain't hanging around no niggas like that.
Right.
So if I'm still affiliated with AWACS and Old Dog and Kane, then you need to show me how that happened. I had to grow up in the hood, and we must have done something, you know, because I'm in the garage with these niggas, and ain't nobody like, what the fuck you doing here, nigga? Get your ass out of. I'm still being accepted as one of the homies. So you need to show that. Show something that happened. But you know, we don't have, you know, as directors and budgets and shit, you know, we don't have time to do that. So it was a problem for him, and eventually he was like, fuck it.
Word. No, I can dig it. So you having such a impact in the film, but then you had the Straight Up Menace song. How did you record that song specifically for the film and for the soundtrack, or was that a song you already had and it just made so much sense?
I had half the song wrote, and then once I did the movie, being able to, you know, read the script, see dailies, you know, of the shit we filmed, and basically just, you know, knowing this story. You know, this is the story of a lot of young black men, and who basically eventually fall victim to, you know, the situations. So it was easy for me to just adjust it. You get me? A lot of us grew up fatherless, you know, grew up in the neighborhood. A lot of us grew up, you know, going through poverty and hard times, and mom struggling to make ends meet and shit like that. So it was easy to pen. You get me?
Word. During that time, you know, with the movie being so popular, the song being so popular, what was it like for you traveling around the country, and were there like people so infatuated with West Coast culture and all that?
I think that song resonated with a lot of people who probably were going through familiar situations. So I think that's why the song really hit hard in a lot of areas. Because like I said, I just represented for us as far as anywhere you were from. Cali, Atlanta, Texas, Chicago, New York. So basically, I tried to just speak to those people. And I think because the song, like I said, hit home for a lot of young men and a lot of young black men growing up, you know, projects, battered homes and shit like that. it got accepted across the board because it basically didn't focus on just, you know, West Coast niggas and gang banging and whatever. It was a song about having a fucked up childhood and being in a terrible situation. And like I said, that hit home for people across the nation, even across the world, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people didn't grow up with silver spoons in their mouth. A lot of us had to really take that long road, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know,
Get it out the mud.
sometimes you get in situations and you'll look next to you and it'll be a nigga that's sitting next to you doing the same thing you doing, and for some reason, damn, this motherfucker just shot to the moon.
Yeah.
We've been doing the same shit, but for some reason I'm still here. And I try to tell a lesson of, some of us just got to take the long road. You get me?
Yeah.
And the struggle is a little harder. It's not that you're not gonna get there, but sometimes the road is a little more rocky, bumpier.
Yeah.
And sometimes there are certain situations, songs, movies, that just resonate with your struggle. And that's what Straight Up Menace was.
And the funny thing about it for me is, me being with him, like last night we was at a little function, and a girl that you wouldn't expect to know this song, she came to him spitting that shit word for word. It was crazy.
What are you talking about females right now?
No, because you know, they was
You
on the
ain't supposed
thing.
to talk about no goddamn broads right now. Leave
The
that
show,
shit
she
up
was
out.
on it nice and thick too.
You might get me busted talking
Oh, my
about a
bad.
female running
This
up
was
to
a
me.
fan. This was a fan. To all those out there, it was a fan. It was a fan. It was a fan.
Nah, I can dig it. I can dig it. So still, you were talking earlier about how, you know, you made the decision not to get affiliated, you know, because you was, you know, really in the streets, really, you know, putting in work. How difficult was it though to not get affiliated, because you coming, not being from Cali, being out there, I'm sure it was so many times where people, it was probably a lot of pressure even to, you know.
Pressure like a motherfucker, because you had people who was the big homies, so to speak. Man, this dude is around here all the time.
Right.
He out there making money with us. We got his back. We don't gave him straps. We don't gave him this. What's up with him? What's up with him? And plus, I'm 6'4", 250, and I got hands. I don't knock the few niggas out. They like, we need them. The easiest thing in the world, is to join the gang, because they need you.
Right.
They need the numbers, right? Because they losing somebody every day. Multiple people, right? It would, you know what? It was a hard decision, because them dudes that became like my family. You know, they gave me a source of income. They gave me an identity. You feel what I'm saying? But on that other hand, I started making friends with other cats from the team. You got to understand, I touched down in Long Beach. It's really at that time of Long Beach, it was only 3 neighborhoods. You had the 20s, you had the Insane, you had the Mexican Longos, you had the Samoans, you know, Sons of Samoa, you had the Filipinos, Tiny Rascals, you know what I'm saying? So it was, as far as black gangs go, I had a gang of cats on the team that was from 20 that was my homies. And at that time, the 20s Insane was mortal enemies. So you have to make a choice. And you gotta make a conscious choice. And if you make the wrong choice, it could probably have serious repercussions.
Yeah. Nah, real spill.
You know, it ain't no light shit to join a gang, because that shit is for life, and it's 24 hours a day. It ain't like gang banging. You just go home like you come home from a job. Okay, I can take my rag off and I'm chilling now. No, you might be with your mom, you might be with your broad and your kids walking through the mall, and it might be a motherfucker from the other side to see you. You don't see them, he come blow your brains out. It has serious repercussions. So I knew, I said, man, I'm gonna get to this paper, dog, and I ain't gonna have no part of none of that.
Yeah, and so you stayed neutral because you knew people on every side, was dealing with folks on every side. Yeah, nah,
Yeah, so I stayed neutral.
Yeah, nah, that makes sense. Nah, it definitely makes sense. Now, hey, you also coached your son's football team for a while.
Right.
Yeah, and I know you were, cause I remember at one point you were coaching within the Snoop Football League, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's crazy because a lot of us, even Steele ran a football organization.
Oh, wow.
You kind of get into that, you know. On the West Coast, we're real big on, you know,
Yeah, we
our
get it in.
youth sports.
Right.
I would say sometimes dudes is probably living, you know, they second life through their sons
Yeah.
in the football and whatever. So, but yeah, I coached for 13 years.
Okay.
I just wanted to, you know, I took a break from rapping and doing all that when I had my son, and because, you know, with my other kids, when you're trying to establish your career and your foundation, man, you moving and you miss a lot of shit, man. And I regret that. So when I had my son, man, I was just trying to see if, giving back, being a father, school shit, graduations, picture day and shit like that, which I've never been a part of with my other kids. So not that, I was like just, but when work calls, man, you gotta go to work.
Nah, for sure.
Motherfucker, you got a show this weekend.
Yeah.
Got a show next weekend. You gotta go overseas. You gotta go do this interview, that interview. So it's a lot when you have a family or kids, when you're trying to establish your career. So with him, I was able to slow it down because, when you're in control of your own shit, you can make those choices. So I decided to, and then also I wanted to give him a different aspect of what he could become. You ain't necessarily got to be a rapper or producer or DJ because you saw me do it. So I wanted to give him his own lane. So I just started putting him in sports, and we did everything: soccer, baseball, basketball, football, and he stuck with football. It was like from the time he was 5, putting on the helmet was everything to him. So I decided to, so that I could make his experience a little more easier, I decided to coach. Because, being in the position I was, you might try to sign him up for somebody else's team and you never know how he might get treated.
Gotcha.
He might get looked upon funny because his dad is MC Eiht, and and that's when people want to be a little more meaner to the kid because his dad, and you got long-standing enemies who are in the game now. They're using their influence on the other kids to fuck with your kid and shit. So I didn't want him to have to go through that. So I started coaching the team from the time he was 5 to 14.
Okay.
It was great experience. Was able to meet a lot of young men who, maybe fathers didn't come around. There was some kids, I never saw their dads at practice. That kind of fucked with me. Those kids would end up fucking with me for the next 7, 8 years. Spending the night at my house and taking them to games, feeding them. But that was important to me, to give them that that motherfucking acceptance.
Nah, for sure.
So many of us, my son is there, his dad is there all the time. I didn't want kids to feel left out, especially kids that I knew, you know, and not necessarily not knowing their situations, but it was good. I got to be around my son. I learned a lot about coaching and parents and getting along with people on a different aspect in rap and having them respect me for being a coach and not using my fucking influence as a rapper and shit. I bought cleats for kids and all kind of shit, man. Supplied my whole team with shoes and shit like that. So it was a great experience. You know what I'm saying? Being regular. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. And I bet you had to learn like a lot of patience with that. And how you said dealing with so many different personalities.
Different families. You got 32 kids on your team, so you dealing with motherfucking 32 different families and personalities, and some days kids might be on, some days they might be off. You got to learn how to motherfucking talk to them and in a way that they're still motivated to come to practice tomorrow. You got a lot of kids that like, shit, I don't even want to do this shit no more. And then you see their potential. They might be going through some shit at home or whatever, and just being able to connect with kids and being able, I never had not one motherfucking complaint from a parent. And maybe one. Maybe one. Those parents who feel like, Lil Johnny should be the quarterback instead of the center, or Lil Johnny should be the wide receiver instead of special teams and shit like that. So I would handle that by just okay, we're gonna put him at quarterback today.
Right.
And when he gets sacked 7 times in a row, then they go, well, yeah, maybe he shouldn't be a quarterback or whatever. So you're able to, like I said, I was able to have stability when I was coaching. Like I said, never got into it with other coaches and shit like that. So it was a great experience.
Word, because you always got those parents like where they kid might be terrible.
Oh, nigga, my kid should be the running back.
Because look, I
remember a 7.5, and you want him to be the running back.
I remember when I was young, like I was terrible at basketball. And I played on the basketball team at elementary school. And I remember my moms and one of my partners, his moms used to be there. Me and my homie was both terrible. And she was cussing the coach out.
You don't play my son.
Yo, she didn't took off from working a double shift to come to the game. Hey, he better go in there and airball if he gonna airball every
money
shot.
for this fee, he better play.
I'm telling you.
And that's the really the fucked up situation, because as a youth coach, we have this rule where I don't give a fuck. They better play 10 plays a game.
Yeah, they gotta play.
Or you get suspended as a coach.
Word.
So
yeah.
It was different. It was, man, trying to work those plays in when you got to work. Man, you probably got about 7 of them on your team.
Yeah.
Like, damn, I got to get these 10 plays today. Kickoff, punt, kickoff. Hopefully we score that much so I can keep putting them in.
Right.
You know what? I was fortunate that I had all the same kids from the time Christopher was 9. I had all of them. They was 8. I took them all the way up from like Mighty Mike to what's the name. And the biggest thing you got to remember as a youth football coach is that these kids, everybody think their kid going to NFL. Mm-hmm. And I just had to tell parents, not right now. This little dude that's the running back might mess around and be an offensive lineman in high school. You don't know how he gonna develop. Because I had the dudes that was my lineman, that was my best, like my son, he wound up going to USC. He at SC, me and Eiht fortunate both our sons played college football.
Right.
My son went to SC, top 5 corner in the country. He plays for Toronto right now. He signed a deal with Toronto. He's been with Seattle for the past few years. Right. And my son was a defensive end and a linebacker.
Yeah.
He didn't start really playing corner and stuff to like his junior midget year, like junior midget and stuff.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing, man, you gotta let the kids have fun.
Yeah.
Cause they supposed to be out there to learn the game of football. So when it came to the must play rule, I played all my kids anyway, because if we was beating a team, you got some of them coaches, them asshole coaches, they out there want to run the score up on little kids, 60-something to nothing. We up 20 points, I'm letting other kids play.
Definitely.
Yeah, nah, for sure. Is Coach Eiht different from MC Eiht?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
My presence is still who I am, but like I said, coaching, you have to be able to, like I said, deal with different emotions, different attitudes. MC Eiht ain't dealing with shit. Nigga, it is what it is, or fuck it. But as a coach, you have to be, more open and acceptable to certain shit. So conversations, I'm more, open. I'm listen, I'm fair, I understand the rules, and it's all about, communication. As far as MC Eiht concerned, if I say whatever and it ain't going down, then fuck it. I'm not listening to shit. I'm not dealing with it. That's just the way it is. So you got to be able to separate. You get me? It's just like, you got to learn how to separate. I'm not gonna go in a situation where I got to sit down with the corporate people and I'm gonna walk in with my bandanas hanging out my back pocket and I'm a whatever, and I'm gonna be who I am. As far as dealing with kids and parents and shit, I got to take off the bandana and I got to learn how to control emotions and be acceptable to certain shit. You get me?
Yeah. If
my star motherfucking running back can't come today because he's sick, I can't get mad at mom and dad and be like, y'all killing me here, man.
Right.
I got a little Johnny sick, next man up. I'm able to do that. So you have to differentiate, I'm a Gemini, so motherfucker, I'm a split personality on your ass.
Yeah.
Where's Gemini too?
You goddamn right.
I'm a Gemini
So
too. Damn.
motherfucker,
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna be cool with you today, and tomorrow I'm gonna be like, nigga, fuck you.
Yeah.
You get me? That's just situations. Situations happen like that.
Yeah, no,
but
that's real.
now that you're more like I'm a little more mature with it, a little more older, so I'm able to comprehend when discussions and conversations need to be had without getting attitudes. You get me?
Word.
When your nigga grow up in the hood, nigga, it's instant. If I disagree with you, nigga, it's attitude, and next might be click click.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but being more mature and doing different shit, dealing with different people, you're more open, and I'm more can comprehend certain situations than just like, okay, time bomb finna go off. You can't diffuse it. It's the timer set and it's about to blow up.
Word.
Now I can go, fuck it. Let me stop the timer and diffuse it, pull the fuse out. Maybe I ain't got to blow this shit up right now. Maybe we
Word.
can talk about it before I toss the grenade.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah, no, for sure. And your son playing college ball right
Yeah,
now?
my
too, right?
son's at Indiana. He's at Valpo University. He's playing quarterback. They just had their spring game. Head coach has good things to say about him. He's a freshman.
Okay.
He just started, so at first it was difficult for him, and you can tell when it's, his first time away from home. He's from California. He's in Indiana.
Right.
He's dealing with snow and cold weather but my son has always been a team player.
Cornfields, all that.
He's always been a team player to where it's like, if things is going good on the football field and with his teammates, then he's a quick, he can adjust.
Yeah.
And he used to travel to play football as a youth, so he's been to different places and shit like that. So I think once he got used to it, because first he used to call me every day complaining about dumb shit.
Yeah.
You get me? All the footballs they're too inflated, or I don't like these cleats, and that was all him transitioning.
Right.
Not wanting to say, I'm really homesick.
Right.
You feel me? So everything was a complaint about football. And so being his coach and being his biggest supporter, I was able to talk him down off the ledge, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because me being a football coach, I can understand and talk to him, because all he was needing was reassurance that you all right, you get me?
Right.
You all right,
Right.
I get it. You're sleeping in a strange place, you're waking up every day with a roommate, and you having to transition in, and now you just walking around campus, and you ain't going to the homie's house on the weekends.
Right.
Y'all not sitting up in the room playing. It's different, but you're a young man now.
Yeah.
You get me? You're 18, 19 years old.
Yeah.
So let's go.
Nah, for
so
sure.
when he would call the football, I'd be like, okay, talk to the coach, you're a quarterback.
Yeah.
They're gonna fix that.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is tell them, man, I don't like the footballs. They're gonna change them up for you.
Yeah.
That was done. Oh, my cleats and whoop-de-whoop. Oh, don't trip, son. Pair of cleats on his way.
Huh.
Okay, cool. My helmet from high school. I'm like, dude, this college. You can't wear your high school
Right,
helmet.
right.
So let's
Yeah.
calm down. And every day, talking to him, it would end with, Dad, you right.
Word.
Dad, you right.
Yeah.
Dad, you right. To where now, I don't even get a single phone call like that. Oh,
Yeah.
today we were scrimmaging the defense and I threw 2 touchdowns and they was mad at me and I was all in their face.
Yeah.
And he loves it now.
That's what's
so
up.
it's just about getting adjusted,
Yeah.
making him comfortable. He's away from dad and mom for the first time in his life.
Yeah.
And he's fucking 2,000 miles away, whatever. So,
Right.
but shit, moms visit him when he first went to college. I think she was flying out there every 2 weeks, just to keep him comfortable.
Yeah,
Me,
for sure.
I ain't doing that shit.
Nah.
I'm like, nigga, I'll see you on game day or
Yeah.
something like that.
Right,
I'm not
right.
flying out there every 2 weeks.
You know them mamas that had your
Yeah,
ass
but
out there every other
she
week.
made him comfortable, and
sure.
then me showing up at a couple of games, and next thing you know, shit, he at home for Thanksgiving.
Right.
He at home for Christmas.
Right.
He at home for spring break.
Yeah.
I'm like, nigga, don't bring your ass here for the summer. Stay your ass out
Stay
there.
out there,
So
yeah, for
he's
sure.
adjusted. It's cool for me because I didn't get to go to college. A lot of niggas I knew didn't go to college.
Yeah.
So when you're able to, see that progression from, where I came from, and especially having a young son, a young man, you want him to make the right decisions and shit. So him being able to never being arrested, never got in trouble with the police, never was on no bullshit, and he made it to college. So, I did something right coming from the steps that I came from.
For sure, for
so
sure.
Definitely.
And at that point where we can embrace that change is inevitable, and when we can get or find some comfort outside of our comfort zone, like that's when we grow even more and really become men, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. That's just the shit. Like me transitioning from doing music to the podcast.
Right.
It's a new thing, but it's the new thing.
Yeah.
You feel me? And it's a lot of people are doing it. And I say it's just a way for us to be able to reach people. And we have conversations just like this on the Gangster Chronicles.
Yeah.
We talk about, the streets. We talk about music influence, with the streets. And then we talk about family in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we about.
Yeah, nah, real shit. Still, if you could go back and talk to the young Steele and give him some game, to take him further, what game would you give yourself?
Man, as far as everything I went through when I was a younger dude, I think it defined the man I am today. From being a father, to being a husband, to being all that, to being a man in my household, it made me who I am, and it helped me to help my kids avoid certain pitfalls.
Yeah.
See, I had good parents, but they wasn't perfect, but they didn't have money. They didn't have the resources that I had. Right. So I poured all my resources into my children. I wouldn't do nothing different, man. I wouldn't do nothing different. If anything, I think I would have trusted my gut a little bit more.
Gotcha.
Yeah, people ask me sometimes, would you change anything? And I'm like, gang banging and all that shit. And I said no, because it made me have the ability to speak to people about my situations.
Right.
Because like I said, there's probably a lot of 15, 16-year-olds going through what I was going through, being in the neighborhood and having those, the gang shit and the drugs and whatever. So no, I wouldn't change anything, because it makes you who you are today.
Yeah.
Even if it was negativity or whatever, you're able to learn from shit,
Is the social commentary that was once in the music, is that missing today? And both
Hell
of
yeah. I would say so, man. I would say, man, right now, we in a real negative space. And not that we, I think that's just the power of music. You go have everything, just like movies. You got Stephen King, you got Steven Spielberg, you know what I'm saying? You might have this other guy that write about historical stuff. You got this other dude that may write about wartime stuff. I think that's just a part of life, man, but right now it's just one-sided. Right. Everything is about, I think we got a massive drug problem in this country, dog.
Yeah.
I think the opiate epidemic, man, is gonna probably wipe out a whole generation of people. Yeah. And I think right now we just, man, the best thing, all we can do is pretty much pray, dog.
Yeah, nah, that's real, that's real. It's so right now is hella publicized, this beef with, Kendrick, J. Cole, Drake, Future, all of them. And it just seems like beef is being so glorified, or if it's even beef, because there's a difference between beef and dissing people on record.
That's what I mean, we had this subject a week ago. It's a difference between beefing and dissing.
Right.
Dissing is friendly banter, I'm gonna make some punchlines about you, joke, blah, blah, blah. You had liposuction, your plane ain't better than my plane.
Right.
That's dissing. Beefing is when, Tupac did hit him up. That's beefing.
Right.
The situation I had with DJ Quick, that's beefing.
Right.
Death Row and Ruthless, that's beefing. When anytime you have a situation where violence is involved, then that's way beyond, These dudes are dissing each other.
Yeah.
They like, I'm I'm the top MC, so you know the friendly banter, LL Cool J and Kool Moe D type of shit.
Right,
you know,
right.
friendly banter.
Yeah.
I'm Superman on the mic. You motherfucking Lois Lane. You know, friendly dissing. Beefing is serious.
Yeah.
Because outside of the rap shit, I'm still want to touch you, homeboy.
Right.
You feel me? That's beefing. When guns is drawn. When you see niggas lying in the street, niggas getting punched up and socked up,
right.
That's beef because it's beyond music.
Yeah.
It's a general, I don't like this motherfucker. You get me?
Yeah.
So, dissing is needed, you know, it's friendly. I think it's accepted in hip hop.
Yeah.
But like I said, it all depends on how you look at it. Like, I'm a nigga who had beef in rap.
Right.
I didn't
right.
diss niggas on record. That shit was, you know, I didn't do that shit. I'm not gonna diss you because if it go to that point, nigga, I'ma sock you when I see you.
Right,
So
right.
it's a difference between beefing and dissing. And you know, we've had dissing in rap for a long time.
Right,
KRS, MC Shan, LL Cool
Absolutely.
Since the
J.
beginning almost.
You know, so it's always been.
I mean, hip hop was the
It's
foundation
friendly
of
banter.
it.
It's
Right.
friendly. It's competition.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing's wrong with competition.
Like they say, hip hop is a pugilist sport. You know what I mean? Like
Niggas on the basketball court, nigga on hit 3-pointer, nigga stare you down like nigga,
Right.
and then when that buzzard hit, it's like good game, man. You get me?
Right.
That's
Everybody
friendly.
going about
you
their
know?
business.
Niggas in boxing,
Yeah.
they get in the ring, they front all during the prelims and all that shit. Like I'm gonna knock your head off, and they do the pushing around at the talks and shit.
the
They get in the
weigh-in
ring,
and
they
stuff,
try to
yeah.
beat the shit out of each other, and then when that bell go ding ding, it's like good fight. You feel me?
Yeah.
So that's friendly dissing and shit. Beefing is nigga when the bell go ding ding, nigga, I'm finna still try to take your motherfucking head off
Yeah.
after the fight is over.
And I think our people are competitive by nature. Anything like the crazy, even podcasting now. You got niggas that got podcasts.
Oh yeah,
beef.
for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So niggas would beef over cheeseburgers if they could.
Right.
Man, come on, man. Yeah, that's the new rap shit.
Yeah.
Podcasting and niggas dissing each other's podcasts
That's
and
so
all
funny.
that.
That's so crazy.
It's gonna all man, I'm telling you, it's gonna sneak its way in. Everything.
But it's like you just said, still, like it's almost like a thing amongst our peoples, because like even look at the comedians beefing,
Yeah,
or
It's-
dissing,
people,
whatever you want
dog,
to
it's like it's enough room for everybody to do well, but it's too much watching. And plus, I'm gonna tell you what happened, man. Everything in this shit is overinflated. It
Yeah.
was the same thing with rap. Oh, he got a $30 million deal. He got a $50 million deal. Nobody ever see that money.
Right.
But you know, you get one podcast, oh, they got $100 million. I don't know how they bullshit podcast got $100 million.
Right,
So now
right.
they talking about it. And really, it's just a ploy for attention, dog.
Yeah.
All this stuff is ploys for attention.
Yeah, nah, that's real. That's real. Because everybody, yeah, I want to be number one. I want to be the top dog, or I want to, you know.
And it's way easier for me to try to knock what you got going down than for me to work and say, you know what, how can we get our shit tighter? We tend to be the latter, like, you know what, man, I'm a congratulator. I like what they doing, man. Now, I'm not gonna go out and steal what you're doing, but I'm gonna figure out a way to make my shit tighter.
Yeah, nah, I can dig it. What's your thoughts on AI? We just saw where I think was it Drake that used like Snoop's voice in one of his diss songs.
Yeah, I'm still on the block, man. I ain't caught up yet. I'm late with that, man. I just started learning how to use Twitter and Instagram.
Okay,
well, all that
I
shit,
didn't
yeah.
want a nigga to use AI and
Ooh, that's
shit.
some
I'm
damn-
slow, man. I'm still on the record player, man. I'm not advanced
Yeah.
with the, you get me, changing voices and imageries and all that shit.
I
man.
think we gonna see a lot of people lose a lot of money down the line because right now, for some of this stuff, ain't no precedents being set. Like you see the stuff with the podcast.
Right.
You got different hosts leaving shows because there was no precedent set. It's like if you know, you've had several major podcasts that have lost hosts. Hell, I lost hosts. Ain't none of the original hosts on this motherfucker no more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's because there was no precedent set and everybody got an idea on how stuff is supposed to run. I could see people going out making deals with people from podcasts like, hey man, I'm gonna go in and shoot you $100,000 to license your voice. And you thinking in your mind, well shit, run it later on. But if they doing off the porch 100 years from now and your family ain't benefiting off of it, that's a problem.
Right, nah, that's real.
You feel what I'm saying? So I think you gonna see a whole lot of that, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, man, I think that shit is the devil, dog.
Yeah, nah, it's crazy because, you know, I mean,
any way to cut you out of your own money, man. You feel me?
Yeah.
That's some crazy shit. They are destined to cut you out of your own money to where now, fuck it. I'm just gonna make a voice and an image that look and sound like him, call it something else, and have him rapping shit and doing all kind of shit.
And you trip out, they can already do the hologram shit.
Exactly.
Right.
Just imagine how that shit gonna look 20 years from now. They can have Eiht doing shows and new albums 50 years from now.
Right.
And his family, loved ones not benefit off of that.
Yeah,
Shit is scary, dog.
anything to cut you out your own, anything that they can benefit from, just like when streaming came. Who benefits from that?
Right.
The art, you get me, is anything that cuts you out of your own bread or give you the little possible. Fuck it, I give you a cent if you know what I'm saying.
That's
Because
what I'm saying.
it's AI.
Well, they just raised
It's
it
not
up to a penny.
really real.
They just raised it up to a penny right now. 1 cent.
Right.
At least that's a whole number, though. Remember when it was
it was
like
a fraction of a
0.008
point.
It was
you know what I'm saying?
0.0003 or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Crazy.
They want to cut you out of a penny.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's crazy. And the record
Now,
company's
you
on
wrote,
Spotify.
you produced it, it's your baby,
Right.
but you can't have that. So I'm gonna make up some shit that I'm gonna have your shit, but then I'm only gonna give you 0.00003 of a penny.
That's
Of
so
a
crazy.
fucking
That's
penny. How do you chop up a penny?
right.
I don't know, dog.
How you chop up a penny, really? How is 3 people gonna eat off of a penny?
That's so.
I don't know, man.
crazy.
You put your heart and your soul into creating stuff, man. Like, look at the platform y'all done created. Just imagine some dude, just because he gave you a few dollars, benefiting off of it just in perpetuity forever. To the point to where you don't even matter no more.
Right.
He don't need you no more.
It's enough money to share, but you know, certain people don't like to see you, you know, with your own success. That's been happening with our kind for a long time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You get
People
me?
like to see you do good, but not doing better than them.
Goddamn right. So I'm gonna keep you at a level. I'm gonna even sign you and put you up under me, but I'm gonna keep you to a level to where you'll never reach where I am.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that shit. You feel me? Which is fucked up because, like you said, it's enough on the pile to where it can be split evenly and we all living successful.
Yeah.
But it's just some people that just can't stand to see us in their positions.
Right.
And that's what you got to deal with. You feel me?
Yeah. I can dig it. What would you guys say, Steele, I'll start with you, man. What would you say is one of the biggest life lessons that you've learned?
The biggest life lessons, man, is that you can't take nothing for granted. You can never take nothing for granted. You always got to keep grinding. Even when stuff is at its best, you have to pretty much prepare for the bad times ahead of time while everything is going good. And I would say, man, always pay attention to pay attention to the people you have around you. Keep your circle small, man, because you can go out your way for somebody, man, and as soon as the minute you say no, you an asshole. When you doing everybody's bid and everything is cool.
Right.
Cause I don't have cats I don't looked out for like a motherfucker, even to my own detriment. And the moment I say no, oh, that nigga foul, he this, he that, you know what I'm saying? So I would say, man, keep your circle small, man. Be knowledgeable about what it is you do, man. Stay on top of the business, man, and keep God first, dog. It's simple.
Yeah, no, I can dig it. What would you say, Eiht?
I would say that first is your family is everything. That's my biggest life lesson is, you know, and then I would say learn to own your own.
Amen.
You get me? Nobody wants to be fair.
Yeah.
You have to find people that are really in your good interest and who are willing to go through that struggle with you. So when you become there, you know, it's just about y'all.
Yeah.
People try to take what you create. And there's some crooked motherfuckers out there who know your struggle and they still try to fuck you. So just own your own. You get me? Never give away shit. Never sign away shit. You know, as a young motherfucker, I was anxious. You get me? So there were certain deals and shit I got into because I just wanted to make it.
Right.
You feel me? When you look at your family and you look at the situations, you know, but people will take advantage of you. So just learn how to own your own.
No, for
You know,
sure.
have your paperwork straight, have your everything straight, because that's a life lesson. Because that's the difference of struggling and being comfortable,
Yeah.
and having your family and shit in the same situation. It's horrible when you struggle, and you got to see your people struggle. That's,
Business definitely gets you an attorney and get your own attorney. Don't get the attorney they refer to you. Get your own attorney, somebody that don't have nothing to do with them,
Right.
and go ahead and give them that percentage of what it is you want.
Once you own your own, you got peace of mind, and you know nobody can take it from you.
Yeah.
You know nobody can fuck you. You know nobody can try to overshadow. It's my shit.
Right.
It's mine. I don't give a fuck what you say. I wrote it. I produced it. I discovered it. I put it together. It's mine.
Yeah.
And nobody could buy that from you. You feel me?
Yeah, I think that's one of the toughest things, especially coming out of the struggle, is when one of those deals is put in front of
so
you.
Hungry, man, and
Yeah.
I get it, because when you come from poverty and you come from hard times, it's hard to not bite the cheese. You
Right.
feel me? And that you love cheese, you know what I'm saying? You that mouse looking around, a motherfucker dangling that shit, and you like, man, it's right there. My mouth watering like a motherfucker, and then you thinking about, well, shit, yesterday I ain't have shit. And now this motherfucker ready to, and it's really nothing.
Yeah.
But you so motherfucking hungry, and you so destined to change your fucking life. You feel it's gonna, you gonna look up 2 months later and be like, what the fuck did I do?
Patience is a virtue.
Man.
So yeah, own your own.
Nah, that's real. That's real. Now, hey, we were talking about your role in Menace earlier, and how big that role was. Why didn't we see you in more movies?
I didn't pursue movies. I was a rap artist.
I always wondered, like, if they tried to typecast you to like just a certain type of character.
I got scripts, and I didn't want to be a funny motherfucker. I didn't want to be the comic relief. I didn't want to be the token, like they say in movies, the token black guy.
Yeah.
You get me? I didn't want to be the token gangster
Right.
in movies.
Right.
You get me? You want to do a comedy and then you throw a nigga in supposed to be a gangster, and no. You doing a movie and the nigga's supposed to be the clown or the butt of the joke. I'm not doing that. I don't give a fuck how much money on the table or the movie is with this star or this star. Nah, man. I'm not no motherfucking joke or no clown. So I passed over shit.
Right.
And by that time, it was like, fuck it, So the only thing I did Menace, I did Thicker Than Water for
Right.
Mac 10,
Yeah.
and then I did another little side movie called 100 Kilos about Freeway Rick.
Oh, okay.
And that was it. But I didn't pursue shit.
Yeah.
I could have got an agent and went after
For
movies
sure.
and all that shit,
For
but
sure.
my first love was rap and, telling stories about the neighborhoods and the poverty and us just being in the struggle, and I was fine with that.
Yeah.
I didn't need to become the next motherfucking Denzel or, even with Cube and all that. I was cool.
Yeah.
And like I said, you got to be comfortable with yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how I think, I'm thankful for that.
No,
I didn't have to fall victim of being a motherfucking clown or
Right.
whatever just for a paycheck.
Right.
That's why I never did radio songs. You get me? I'm like, yeah, there's probably a lot of shit I could have did to get to a different plateau.
Yeah.
But I was comfortable where I was.
Yeah.
I was comfortable cruising Crenshaw every Saturday night in my 6 tray with the hood niggas.
Yeah.
I wasn't looked at as, oh man, there's MC Eiht, I was looked at, oh, they go Eiht the homie. You
Right.
get me?
Yeah.
I'm on Crenshaw with the niggas riding every weekend. Or, I'm hanging out in the neighborhood. I never wanted to, that's why I tell Steele, I never wanted to be that. Even though motherfuckers, man, you was in Menace and you had straight up Menace and you had this and you did this. I didn't want to be looked at because I didn't want to be alienated from the realness. Shit is still real around here.
Yeah.
You get me? I don't want to be living up in the hills behind the gates and shit when I'm still going to the block every day.
Right.
So I gotta fit the mold. And my mold is, nigga, I'm the regular nigga. You get me?
Yeah.
So that's where I fit in. I never went after movie roles or trying to do songs that would get me on top 40 radio or shit like that.
Yeah.
I was put here to do what I did, and that's what I did.
Regular nigga doing extraordinary shit though.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, come on, bro. But I can tell just from talking to both of y'all cats though that integrity is a huge part of y'all mantra, a huge part of just, you know, what y'all live by.
Oh, definitely. That's me. I'm gonna be solid with the regular man. You feel me? That's it. Integrity is high on me. Like I said, motherfuckers say, would you rather have loyalty or respect? And I tell a nigga all day, respect.
Yeah.
Respect me. Motherfucker, loyalty ain't get you shit. Loyalty gonna get you stealing money. Loyalty gonna get you flipping sides, going to the other team. Respect is gonna have a motherfucker going, I would never do that to a nigga. You feel me?
Your loyalty will have you fucked up.
That's where I'm at with it. You get me? As long as you respect the nigga, I don't give a fuck where you from, what you claim, what color you are, whatever. If we got respect for each other, we gonna shake hands like grown men, and whatever the difference is or the disagreement, we still gonna be like, you know, I respect that.
Yeah.
And so you ain't got no issue from me.
Word.
You feel me?
Real, recognize real. I can dig it. What else you brothers got coming up? What else you got in the works, Eiht?
Right now, you know, we pushing this new year, the Gangster Chronicles. I just came off tour from Europe, like 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm still doing verses and touring, and you know, old nigga tired, but we still working, man.
Hey,
so you
come
gotta
on,
be
man.
grateful for that. You
Yes,
feel
sir.
me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, independent films, man. I just co-executive produced my first one.
Okay.
And it's on Tubi, Amazon Prime, man. It's called The Block Trilogies.
Okay.
It's doing really well for us. We got another one. We got a TV series that I don't like to talk too much because then people get to praying against you and
Right,
plotting
right.
against you and
Nah, for
stuff.
sure.
We got some pretty good things coming up, man. We got, you know, like a new season of Gangster Chronicles, man, coming up, man. This is actually our final year with Black Effect. Not our final year, but this is the end of our contract.
Renegotiation time.
You know, so Charlamagne.
The stakes is high.
At the time, man, the stakes is high, dog. So you know what, man, other than that, man, trying to progress, man.
Yeah.
Trying to progress. There's a lot of stuff in the works.
Right.
But you can't say nothing all the time, man. Sometimes, man, silence is
Yeah.
golden.
Nah,
That
that's
nigga
real.
steal your idea like it ain't shit.
Man, come
You
on,
feel
bro.
me?
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to keep shit on the down low.
I can
And
show
I'm
you,
one of
but
them
I can
dudes
tell you.
that I don't like to talk unless man. Talk to me when you got a paperwork in your hand.
That's real.
You know, it's great to have ideas and it's great to have shit, but ain't nothing moving until that paperwork and money is cracking.
Yeah.
So when we at that point, then we official. So we like to keep a lot of our shit, you know, under wraps because like I said, opportunities are very high.
Absolutely.
You get me? They very high, man. Shit. So you got to watch your shit.
Yeah.
You trust who you trust. Make sure that they worth your trust too.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, they respect you.
Because everybody ain't your friend, dog. Because you know, I told somebody the other day, I said, man, I got people that I've known for 25, 30 years. They are associates. I got people that I've known for 5 years that are friends.
That's real.
I said, that's just how it is. You know, everybody not your friend.
Yeah, nah, that's real. And everybody that's smiling in your face don't want what's best for you.
Man, come on, man. OJ said it best, man. Backstabbers. They live and breathe. You get me? And they just waiting to pounce. That's all.
You mean, what was that?
Who?
The group? You said OJ Simpson.
I said the OJ.
Yo,
OJ.
he messed me up too, bro. When he said OJ and then he said the backstab.
Yeah, OJ. I thought about OJ literally with that Guinness
Yeah,
soup.
nah, we talk about the singers.
You know,
OJ,
rest in
yes,
peace,
sir.
OJ Simpson.
Yeah,
We talk the singers, not the killers.
So my face was over here on this side, like, oh, for sure. No, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Any words of wisdom that both of you guys would give people that's back against the wall, climbing over these different hurdles, trying to get to their goals, get to what they're trying to get to, and trying to stay sucker free out here and not fall victim to, you know, the BS that's out here?
I just say, like I said before, for some of us, the long road is the way you got to go. It's unfortunate, but sometimes that long road will slow you down and let you see the bigger picture better. So don't get discouraged because you got to take the long way around. Just be patient and make sure when you go on that long road that you watch them potholes. And like I said, when you go on that long road, you can slow down a little bit, observe, see things better. So don't get discouraged, you know. We've all been to the point where we didn't think shit was gonna play out, you get me? Money, jobs, you know, just living, you know. Some people wake up every day with the struggle on their head to where I don't know how I'm gonna make it today. But good things is promised to us all, you feel me? So you just gotta work at it, man. I had to take the long road around, but I was patient, you get me? I saw dudes rapping about the streets and drugs and whatever, and I was doing the same thing. Tomorrow they got a triple platinum record. Today I'm still in the studio working, but I still get to work. So
Absolutely.
be appreciative.
You know, I would say, man, be patient, man. Focus on your craft. This is the biggest thing, and I'm gonna leave this at that. If you're doing something for money, you're gonna be greatly disappointed. I've never went into a venture or something I was doing, whether it was music or doing this podcast stuff with the intent on just making money. I had something that I wanted to bring to the universe. You know, and that's usually when stuff work out. If you're doing stuff just for money, you will always be unsatisfied, and it'll never happen.
Nah, that's real. Yeah, if money's the only driver, then you're not gonna bring that authentic feel that you would bring like when you doing something for the love of it. You know what I mean? Nah, that's what's up. That's what's up. You fellas got any shout outs before we get up out of here?
I just want to shout out my son, Valpo University football. Let's go, let's get it cracking. And to all the homies still in the struggle, man. You know what I'm saying? Make good choices and shit. Especially if you got sons, you know, they see you. Just be careful of what you push upon them. Because they are next generation and they got to carry this shit on after we gone.
Hell yeah. Go check out our YouTube channel at the Gangster Chronicles Podcast. Hit us up on Instagram at the Gangster Chronicles Podcast. That's it. Coming to a hood near you.
One more brother on the run. I just can't handle this. Born in the land of the scandalous.